Yeah, my name's Steve Berg. I work at Woodlands Church. I'm a worship pastor here. I met Dave, it was at I think it was a winter conference for his youth group. I'd been leading worship. The thing I think that stuck out to me was how much drive Dave had. It was very clear that Dave wanted to be involved in ministry of some sort. Dave was always also very real. He desired to grow, he desired to go deeper, but he wasn't shy to ask questions. So obviously the hope was to see him pour his life into other people, but also just to see him grow and to be healthy and have a college experience that he could look back on and say, man, those years really helped me develop into the person that I am today.
My name is Dr. David Kirkpatrick, and I'm on the faculty of Florida State University in the Department of Religion. I met Steve Berg as a high schooler. I was on a high school church retreat, and the crew band from Stevens Point came to lead worship. And I remember very clearly talking to Steve after a couple of the sessions, hearing him talk about what God was doing on campus at Stevens Point, and I wanted to be a part of it. I remember as a freshman hearing that Steve was going to be my discipler and being really excited about it because I knew him from tennis, but also being excited because of the passion that Steve had for me to reach my dorm for Christ. So Steve talked to me very early on about beginning to pray about whether God might want me to reach some of the men in my dorm and then to disciple them and to take them under my wing. After my freshman year, I went on a summer mission trip or summer project with CRU in San Diego. I remember very clearly sitting on the beach in San Diego and writing out a prayer that God would use me to impact whoever moved across the hall from me.
My name is Ryan Ferrell. I've been married for almost 5 years to my wife, Beezy. I remember meeting David. It was my very first day, official day on campus at Stevens Point. Came to Stevens Point knowing nobody and was convinced of getting into a crowd, getting into a group of friends, any way that I could. I was convinced that I was going to be partying, drinking, drugs, all of things that I had never done before, but I knew that I needed to be surrounded by people. So I'm unpacking my clothes that first day, and I'm thinking these things. I'm gonna, get involved in any way that I can, and I pull out a shirt, and out comes this Bible that was gifted to me, and immediately I'm convicted, and I pray for the very first time, saying, God, if you are real, I need some sort of sign. I need something, some sort of affirmation. About 30 seconds later, I hear on the hall some foreign voices talking about a Bible study. And so I drop everything that I'm doing. I rush out into the fourth floor of Thompson Hall, and I'm running up and down the halls trying to figure out where these voices are coming from. Finally, I pinpoint the door. I don't knock. I don't announce myself. I just burst in, and there happens to be 3 or 4 guys that were upperclassmen with CRU. So that was my first interaction with David, and come to find out that he is actually living right across the hall from me.
We had started an evangelistic Bible study in our dorm, Thompson Hall, and I invited Ryan Farrell along to this Bible study.
I go with him, we go do Bible study for a couple weeks, and I remember after a specific one, he invites me back up to his room and we talk a little bit deeper about it.
And we talked about how God wanted us to be sure that we were going to go to heaven, to be sure that we were part of his family, to be sure that we had this deposit guaranteeing our inheritance.
I remember not being sure, and I remember him going through the gospel with me, and me coming to know the Lord.
After that, I started meeting with Ryan and meeting with him in discipleship. And very early on, I remember asking Ryan, who are a couple men that God might want to use you to reach and then you to disciple, to multiply your faith?
The first time I remember meeting Ian, I remember thinking, man, these guys are immature. Man, these guys are, they're goofy, they're always pulling pranks on each other and just being loud and obnoxious. As time went on, he surprised me a little bit. Not only were these guys really following him and drawn to him, but he had this love for these guys that he was with. He had this genuine care and love for them. And beyond that, I saw in him this leadership capability like I had never seen before.
My name is Ian Hackett. I am on staff with CRU. But I think like one of the biggest things that Ryan added to my life was specifically looking at like areas of my life and challenging me to live differently. Like specifically, it caused me to think of how can I multiply my life. That year in particular was where my relationship with God just like really like took off. Initially, it was being challenged by Ryan Farrell to disciple other men. I don't think I really understood like the depth of what discipleship meant when I first entered it. The investment that I pour into guys, I hope that they continue to do the same and continue to multiply their lives and continue to reach people with the gospel. CRU in Central Wisconsin enabled me to multiply my faith.
Hey, my name is Steve, and CRU in Central Wisconsin enabled me to multiply my life into others while I was in college.
My name is Ryan Ferrell, and CRU enabled me to multiply my faith in others' lives.
My name is David Kirkpatrick, and CRU enabled me to multiply my faith into others' lives.